Imagine a dark and stormy night in Ireland. Rain lashes against the windows. Wind howls through the trees. Suddenly a piercing wail cuts through the night. It is a sound filled with sorrow and dread. This is the cry of the Banshee, a harbinger of death in Irish folklore. The Banshee is a female spirit in Irish mythology. She is said to herald the death of a family member. Her wail is a terrifying omen, striking fear into the hearts of those who hear it. The Banshee is a powerful symbol of Irish folklore, representing the enduring connection between life and death. The Banshee is often depicted as a solitary figure, her mournful cries echoing across the lonely Irish landscape. She is a reminder that death is an inevitable part of life, and her presence serves as a chilling warning that our time on earth is finite. The origins of the Banshee can be traced back to ancient Celtic mythology, a time when the line between the natural and supernatural was blurred. The Celts believed in a spirit world that existed alongside our own, a realm filled with mystical beings and powerful entities. These spirits could interact with the human world, often in mysterious and unsettling ways, influencing events and guiding the fate of individuals. The Banshee, with her ties to the other world, is a remnant of these ancient beliefs, a spectral figure whose wails foretell death. One theory suggests that the Banshee is connected to the Banshee, a female figure from Irish folklore who is said to wash the blood-stained clothes of those about to die. A haunting image that has persisted through the ages. This association with death and the other world further reinforces the Banshee's role as a harbinger of mortality, a spectral messenger from beyond the veil. The belief in Banshees was widespread in Ireland for centuries, deeply embedded in the cultural consciousness of the people. Stories of their mournful cries were passed down through generations, becoming an integral part of Irish folklore, a way to explain the inexplicable and to give voice to the fears of the unknown. These stories often served as a way for people to cope with the fear and uncertainty of death, providing a supernatural explanation for the loss of loved ones, and offering a sense of connection to the past and the mysteries of the other world. The Banshee's appearance is often as unsettling as her cry. She is typically described as a woman, but her age and appearance can vary greatly. Some accounts portray her as young and beautiful, while others depict her as old and haggard. Her clothing is often described as white or grey, resembling a shroud or burial cloth. This further emphasizes her connection to death and the afterlife. In some stories, she is said to have long flowing hair that she combs with a silver comb, a symbol of mourning and the passage of time. The Banshee's appearance can also be influenced by the family she is said to haunt. Some families believe that their Banshee takes a specific form, such as that of a deceased relative or ancestor. This personal connection to the Banshee only adds to the fear and unease surrounding her appearances. The most terrifying aspect of the Banshee is undoubtedly her wail. It is described as a high-pitched, mournful cry that chills the blood and sends shivers down the spine. The wail is often heard at night, adding to the sense of dread and unease. The Banshee's wail is not a random occurrence. It is a deliberate warning, signaling the impending death of a family member. The closer the wail, the nearer death is said to be. In some stories, the Banshee is said to wail 3 times, signifying the 3 days before death. The Banshee's wail is a powerful symbol of grief and sorrow. It is the sound of death approaching, a chilling reminder of our own mortality. The wail is a visceral experience, tapping into our deepest fears and anxieties about the unknown. Section 5. Tales from the Emerald Isle. The rich tapestry of Irish folklore is woven with countless stories that have been passed down through generations, each one more intriguing than the last. Stories of Banshee encounters are widespread in Irish folklore. The Banshee, a harbinger of death, is one of the most feared and revered figures in Irish mythology. These tales often involve people hearing the Banshee's wail, a mournful cry that chills the blood. This eerie sound is usually followed by the news of a death in the family, cementing the Banshee's role as a grim messenger. Some accounts even claim to have seen the Banshee herself. These sightings are often described as fleeting glimpses of a white figure disappearing into the mist, leaving an indelible mark on the witness's memory. One famous story tells of a man who was walking home late one night when he heard a woman crying by the roadside. The sound was so sorrowful that it drew him closer, despite his growing sense of dread. As he approached, he saw a beautiful woman dressed in white, her face buried in her hands. Her sobs were heart-wrenching, and he felt compelled to offer comfort. When she looked up, the man was horrified to see that she had no eyes, only empty sockets. The sight was so terrifying that it left him paralyzed with fear for a moment. He fled in terror, running as fast as his legs could carry him through the misty landscape. The next day, he learned that his brother had died suddenly, just as the Banshee's wail had foretold. These stories, passed down through generations, have kept the legend of the Banshee alive in Irish culture. Around fires and in cozy cottages, these tales are shared, each retelling adding a new layer of mystery and fear. Whether based on actual encounters or simply the product of active imaginations, they serve as a testament to the power of folklore and the enduring belief in the supernatural. The Banshee remains a potent symbol of the unknown, a reminder of the thin veil between this world and the next. Section 6. The mind plays tricks. While many believe in the supernatural nature of the Banshee, others offer more rational explanations for her appearances. The eerie wails and ghostly sightings have long been a part of Irish folklore, but not everyone is convinced that they are truly otherworldly. Some suggest that the Banshee is simply a product of folklore, a way for people to cope with the fear and uncertainty of death. In a time when death was a common and often sudden visitor, the legend of the Banshee provided a narrative that helped people make sense of their grief and loss. Others point to psychological explanations, suggesting that Banshee sightings may be attributed to grief-induced hallucinations or pareidolia, the tendency to perceive meaningful patterns in random stimuli. When someone is in a heightened emotional state, their mind can play tricks on them, making them see or hear things that aren't really there. The sound of the wind, the cries of animals, or even the creaking of a house can be easily misinterpreted as the mournful wail of a banshee, especially by those already grieving or expecting a death. The human brain is wired to find patterns and meanings even in the most random of noises. While these explanations may debunk the supernatural nature of the Banshee, they do not diminish the power of her legend or the impact she's had on Irish culture. The Banshee remains a potent symbol, woven into the fabric of Irish storytelling and tradition. Whether a real spirit or a figment of our imaginations, the Banshee continues to fascinate and terrify, reminding us of our own mortality and the enduring power of belief. Her story is a testament to the human need to explain the unexplainable and to find comfort in the face of the unknown. Section 7. Nothing but the wind. Skeptics of the Banshee point to the lack of concrete evidence for her existence. There are no photographs, recordings, or other tangible proof to support the claims of her appearances. The stories of Banshee encounters are often anecdotal, passed down through generations and prone to embellishment over time. They also argue that the Banshee's characteristics are too vague and inconsistent to be credible. Her appearance, clothing, and even her wail can vary greatly from story to story, suggesting that she is more of a cultural construct than an actual entity. While skepticism is healthy and necessary, it is also important to remember that folklore is not about proving or disproving the existence of supernatural creatures. It is about exploring cultural beliefs, traditions, and our relationship with the unknown. Section 8. The enduring legend. Despite the lack of concrete evidence and the arguments of skeptics, the Banshee remains an integral part of Irish folklore. Her legend has endured for centuries, passed down through generations and woven into the fabric of Irish culture. The Banshee's story continues to captivate our imaginations, reminding us of the power of belief, the mystery of the unknown, and the enduring connection between life and death. She is a symbol of Irish folklore, representing the rich history and cultural heritage of the Emerald Isle. The Banshee's legacy extends beyond the shores of Ireland, influencing literature, film, and popular culture around the world. Her story serves as a reminder that folklore is not just about ancient tales and legends. It is about the human experience, our hopes, fears, and the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the world around us. Section 9. A question of belief. The question of whether the Banshee is real or simply a product of folklore is ultimately a matter of personal belief. There is no right or wrong answer, and the beauty of folklore lies in its ability to spark our imaginations and challenge our perceptions of the world. Whether you believe in the supernatural or prefer a more rational explanation, there is no denying the enduring power of the Banshee legend. She continues to fascinate and terrify, reminding us of our own mortality and the enduring mystery of the unknown. So the next time you find yourself on a dark and stormy night, listening to the wind howl outside your window, remember the legend of the Banshee and ask yourself, do you